Hello everyone, it's Jamal Thomas. Welcome to the Progressive Soapbox. So this one is not going to be too long. I found more information, and in finding more information, I want to clarify on something that was said in one of my other videos, because at the time I did not know. So I did a video maybe a week ago. Let me start at the beginning. Chariton is back. Chariton used to work for TYT. And for those of you who don't know, at this point, I think most people would know, there was this big splashy exit from TYT. It was this kind of public feud where Cenk Uygur makes a video saying that he's firing him. There's all of these sexual abuse allegations, etc., etc. Jordan had been away for months, I think maybe 3 or 4 months. And recently he started his own channel. He's coming back and he's trying to start up a new media platform. So that's great. Now, one of the things that he addressed, which was the point of my other video, was making this point of the allegations about using money in inappropriate ways. Well, those allegations, he pushed back on. He essentially was like, guys, that's not true. That's not what took place. I've worked at MSNBC and Fox. No one has ever had issues with me on this front. Don't believe it. And in that video, I was kind of making this point that he was hitting on this because he needed to rebuff it. You're trying to create a new media platform and somebody else has come out saying that you misuse funds. Now, one of my subscribers, after seeing me that, oh, and by the way, like I do all my videos, I ask, what is the motives of the people involved in the process? And what are their incentives in that process, if that makes sense? Because I try to understand what's more true than not. And not necessarily having an inside or being on the inside of it, there's no way for me to know. So those were the things, or those were the questions I brought up for my audience, and I explicitly showed his video pushing back on that particular claim. One of my subscribers was like, dude, did you see this? And they put me to a video that Dore did. Now, in the video that Dore did, Dore referenced this. TYT and Jordan Chariton have reached mutual settlement. While Jordan and I had disagreements while he was working for TYT, we never said or meant to infer that he stole anything from us. This chapter is now closed. He put stole in quotes because I would imagine, based on the other video, he's trying to be specific to the wording. But if you saw the other video, it is hard to come away from the idea. Look, I watched that other video. I watched it a few days ago because I wanted to have a clear idea in my mind on what was being alleged before doing my last video. It's hard to look at that video and not come away from it thinking that TYT was making the argument that Jordan was, for all intents and purposes, stealing from them. So I am happy that TYT came out and gave somewhat of a press clipping saying, okay, we didn't mean to imply that he stole from us. We didn't mean to imply that he stole from us. And that's good. Part of me would have preferred he did that on the show, because I had never seen this. And I would wager to you that you might have had X number of hundreds of thousands of people who saw him put a knife in the guy, but very few people probably saw this very specific tweet. There were only 63 retweets. 63 retweets. So then it becomes, okay, how many people actually saw it in comparison to how many people actually saw the video where Uygur is putting a knife in the guy live on TV? So there's more to this. And then this was kind of a what the fuck. This is Fox News. Liberal HuffPost scraps contributor network amid tsunami of false information. That's funny. That's funny. This is the part that's interesting. The $23.5 million suit was filed with the Supreme Court of New York last month, alleges that the contributor, Christian Chiliakos, defamed journalist Jordan Chariton by publishing a since-deleted story detailing allegations of sexual misconduct against him, according to the New York Post. Chariton was fired by the Young Turks after the story was published by the Huffington Post, according to the Post. The story has since been deleted from the Huffington Post, and Chariton settled with TYT, but his attorney took issue with the Huffington Post placing the story under its news section, allowing it to be picked up as by Google as news. It made an unverifiable hoax that did not follow proper journalistic protocols. I'm sorry, I read this wrong. It made an unverified hoax that did not follow proper journalistic protocol, seemed to the reader to be the product of a journalistic process, attorney William Moran told Fox News. Chiliakos has since published a bizarre post on Medium in which he admits to being an extremely violent and unstable person with a history of domestic violence and abuse, while attempting to explain why he wrote the story that triggered the lawsuit. The reasons I wrote the story are hard to explain. The circumstances around it are complicated, Chilakas wrote. I rushed out the article and was thrust into the middle of this. In hindsight, it was a bad way to go about it. No shit. No shit. No shit, Sherlock. The guy, I mean, you accuse somebody of rape and then makes a story after the fact saying, yeah, I was a disturbed person and I've had domestic violence and abuse myself. And that they're extremely violent and unstable. Unstable sounds right. Unstable sounds right. Accuse somebody of rape. That's a big fucking deal. That's a really big fucking deal. And then to compound it with the other network putting another knife in him saying that he somehow stole money. So since I don't think most people saw this part, I'm holding both of these up. And I put both links at the bottom so you can interrogate the story yourself. But just so we're very clear, TYT comes out. TYT and Jordan Chariton have reached a mutual settlement. While Jordan and I just had disagreements while he was working for TYT, we never said or meant to infer that he stole anything from us. This chapter is now closed. This chapter is now closed. So, like I said, this one wasn't going to be long. I got additional information. When I got additional information, I want to share it to the audience. I've said before, I want his media venture to do well. And part of me wants it to do well because I feel like we don't really have... Look, I think TYT politics, if you look back at what it was when Jordan was there versus what it is now, I think you'll find that it's fundamentally different. That's all. I think you can walk and chew gum, meaning you can do the political stories while at the same time doing stories about things that are taking place within the wider United States. You don't get the chewing gum part. Let's just say it that way. Like, you get one very specific network, and that network is no longer the thing that it was before he left. So I want him to do well on this. I want him to do well on this. And one of the arguments I made in the other video was it leaves a scar. Like when you walk away from a process and somebody insinuated that you did something that was, grossly over the top. So both of these will be at the bottom of the video so you can see for yourself. And I'll leave it at that. Yeah, guys, this evening, by the way, Ron Placone will be here at 5 p.m. tonight. So you guys have a good one. I will see you guys then. And of course, like always, if you enjoy the content, feel free to share, like, subscribe. And of course, you can support through PayPal or Patreon. Thanks, everyone.